By the way, I did send everybody the links, including the Borgel this morning. Magda gave me his company. I only see, Shani, I only see myself. Good morning and welcome to today's webinar.
Good morning.
Morning. Can I just hear Rizani? Are we live?
Yeah, we are live.
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning and welcome to today's troubleshooting webinar session. Before we start with today's webinar, I just want to make you aware that we are planning to have another webinar next week on e-services and the BizPortal. It will probably be around the middle to the end of next week. So please, you can follow us on Facebook or subscribe to YouTube. Then you will see when we post notices of the invite there. But getting back to today's webinar, the aim of the webinar is to assist customers to navigate the upgraded e-services and BizPortal platforms. I'm Alma Pinkham and I'm from the Corporate Education Unit and I will facilitate the session today. With me in the studio is Tebogo Masakale and Selun Glover from our ICT unit and Magda Swemmer from the CIPC call center. Tebogo Masakali will take us through some of the processes to provide clarity on how the system works. And Selu and Magda are with us to assist with questions and answers if need be. After Tebogo's demo, we will have a question and answer session. So you're welcome to post your questions related to the topic under comments. If you have questions that's not related here to, then please log a query on our CIPC website or send a message on CIPC Facebook. The webinar recording will remain on CIPC YouTube channel and the CIPC Facebook should you wish to view it again later. I now want to hand over to Tebogo for the demo and some explanations about the system. Thanks a lot, Tebogo.
Yes, good morning, colleagues. My name is Tebogo Masakale. I'm from the ICT team, and I'm part of the team members that were involved in building e-services and the BizPortal that you see as is deployed today. So I will be taking you through some of the functionality that is available on this system. And I guess one of the burning issues that have been there during the week was in reference to logging onto the system. So I would like to say that logging in issues mostly are resolved. We are not seeing any issues in reference to logging onto the system. And any issues in relation to login, they have subsided. And if there are any issues, we'll deal with them on a case-by-case basis. It is a priority for us. And please be patient with us as we deal with these teething issues. So I'm not sure, Elma, where you want to start in terms of the business processes. Maybe I can be guided by the team members that are in the call.
Tebogo, I think you must start at the beginning. How does a customer register? What are the problems that customers experience when they try and log in? How can they get into the system? And then take us from there, things like name reservation, company registration, annual returns, those kind of matters, because I think those are the main issues customers are struggling with. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let me try to do this. Okay. So please let me know when you can see my screen. Can anyone see my screen?
I can't see it yet.
Okay. I'm sharing on my side.
Now I can see it.
Okay, brilliant. All right. Okay, I'm going to open something now, and I want you to please let me know if you can see it. Can you see what I'm typing now? Can you see anything that I'm typing?
At the moment, I'm not seeing any typing.
Okay, brilliant. All right, the reason why I'm asking is there are certain things that I will be doing which I don't want broadcast. So I want to make sure that we remain on the screen. Okay, so in terms of logging onto this system, I'm going to, okay, we relied on two systems previously in terms of user profiles. That was e-services, which is what we now call the old e-services, and it would also be the new e-services. This is the platform where you can do your cooperatives, business rescue applications, etc. So we have now merged those two systems so that it doesn't complicate issues in terms of customer profiles. And I guess some of the teething issues were in relation to the customers that were logging on to old e-services versus customers that were logging on to new e-services. There were some conflicts and those have been fixed. Now, to gain access into, I'm going to start with e-services. And I think that the major difference between the BIS portal and the e-services is that, firstly, you'll notice that the look and feel are the same. You will also notice that the way that you navigate, etc., a little bit of a difference in terms of naming conventions, but you'll notice that most of the services are the same. With the BIS portal, there are add-on services such as being able to lodge applications with the compensation fund, UIF, Google Ads services, domain names, etc. So there are add-on services that are available on the BIS portal, which are not available on the e-services. However, in terms of logging in into BIS portal and e-services is exactly the same username and password. So what I'm going to do, because okay, what I'm going to do, colleagues, is I'm going to log on to new e-services, and the best way to achieve that is you log on to the CIPC website. You can still see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Then you'll click on the login button on the top right hand side of that screen. You will then be presented with a list of systems that are available. You will then click on continue under e-services. So I'm not going to click it here because I don't want to move away from this window. So you'll click there and then it will land you here. This is where that will take you. In order to log in, you simply, if you've been a customer at the CIPC old e-services, as we call it, or K2, you simply just click on login. You don't need to register. So I'll click on login. What you will notice, which will be different between logging onto old e-services and logging onto this platform, our new, it's called e-services, a replacement of the old one, as well as K2. The difference that you will notice is that you will have to use your ID number to log on to the system. Your password will be the same as old e-services, so you don't need to change that password. But in terms of if you're on K2, I mean new e-services as a customer, you might need to change this password if the system does not allow you to log in. Okay, so I'm going to log in. If I've never logged in here before, it's fine. It doesn't matter. You'll just be directed onto this page. So you'll land onto the dashboard. You'll see this information. This is if you were an existing customer on the old e-services, as we call it, the replacement of the old e-services, same URL, same everything, as well as new e-services. You will land onto this page. So I'm now going to log out. Oh, another important thing, colleagues, is that if you have not been verified, okay, and I think this is the important part, is that if your user account has not been verified, you will not land onto a page which will require you to update your profile. So that is quite important because you will not be able to do anything on the system until that verification process is completed. And what that will look like, it will be similar to when I click on the update link on the contact details section. So if your profile has never been verified, the likelihood is that you will come onto a page similar to this. It's not the same page, but it will be similar to this. So you'll be required to capture your details, address, etc. You'll be able to continue. It will show you the OTPs. You capture the OTPs, submit, you move on. And when I say OTPs, that is your email OTP as well as your SMS OTP. If you don't provide those two, you will not be able to continue if you have not been verified. Okay, so that is quite important. However, if our DHA system is down, it's fine. We'll allow you to transact without being verified. We'll verify you at a later stage. Um, okay, so I'm now going to, if you've never transacted with the CIPC before, in any way whatsoever, from the old e-services or from the new e-services, you'll be required to click on this register button on the top right hand side of the screen. So I'll click on that. Okay, so you will be required then to put in your ID number. You can still see my screen, colleagues.
Yes, we can.
Okay, just give me a second. Okay, okay, right. So you'll put in your ID number. You'll click on the continue button. You will then be presented with this form where you type in your ID, uh, put in your title, your full name and surname will be pre-populated from Home Affairs. You'll put in your date of birth, in your email address. Okay, demographic information. You'll put in your address, province. If your postal is the same, you can copy that across. If it is different, you can type in your postal as well. You will then click on the continue button. So we are generating your OTPs. Okay, not yet. We are verifying. So at this point, okay, colleagues, at this point, we are verifying your information with Home Affairs. Okay. And then you would be presented with this screen where you put in your OTPs. You'll put in your OTPs there. Uh, just give me a second as I look for them. Give me a second. Okay, there you go. All right. You'll put in your SMS OTP. You'll put in your email OTP. You'll get an email, and then you'll click on verify. At this point, you can put in your password. This is the new password you want to use and create. You'll then click on the register button. After you've clicked on the register button, that's it. That's what you are presented with. So we can see now that I'm a director in this company. So even though I have not been a customer of the CIPC before, all enterprises that are linked to me in terms of my ID number will be listed here. Okay. So what is it that you can do? Let's start at the top. You'll be able, the services, you'll find them on the top section of the screen. You'll deal with business registration, maintenance, and disclosures. We have also put in shortcuts. For example, we have a shortcut to filing an annual return. We have a shortcut to registering a company. We also have a shortcut to customer transactions. And as we feel your customer experience, we can look at updating this to say, most of our customers would like to have these quick links to the services. Uh, so this is what you'll be presented with. Your customer code will still be available. There's a new one that has been created. It will display that for you. I think another important difference in this system is that um, you will only transact utilizing bank cards. There's no declining balances, right? So you will not be able to transact using declining balances. You will transact utilizing your bank card. And it must be a bank card that has the CVV at the back. It could be a debit card, could be a credit card, as long as it has CVV at the end and it has been enrolled into the latest authentication methods from the banks. So if a payment does not go through, you will please need to discuss with your bank if your card is enabled for online shopping. Okay. So what should I start with? Customer, are there any questions at this point?
Yeah, I think there are many questions. The thing is that the demo takes very long. So what I suggest is that we move to the Q&A, and that we start with the questions if Rizani and them can put up questions for us, and that we rather respond to the questions directly.
Okay.
But not on comments.
I think there's a conflict. Someone is connected with their phone as well
Rizani,
as on
there's
the laptop.
some other background noise. Yeah, it's away. Thank you, Tebogo. As soon as Rizani can put up questions, we'll move to the questions and you can assist to answer them, please.
It's on the floor, colleagues.
Perhaps I should read a question so long because it's taking a bit of time for them to put it up. There's the first one. Can everyone also not make a payment? I'm not sure how they mean that, but Tebogo, what's your response to that?
Yeah, so you'll need a card, debit card, credit card, as long as you have the CVV, those three numbers at the back of the card, and your bank has allowed that card to make online payments, you'll be able to use that card. Any other card, like, there are debit cards that don't have the CVV number, you'll not be able to use it.
Okay. They asked why we don't do add-ons to the system instead of, as the customer says, ruin the entire system. What was the idea with the changes?
All right, so I think we are dealing with technology transformations. In any organization, we find legacy systems. These legacy systems need to be moved into newer platforms in terms of technology. And you find yourself that if you don't do that, you get left behind. And you get left behind because you find no support for the technology that was being used. So there are a lot of things that we want to achieve with this new platform in terms of dealing with data, being able to manage data correctly, being able to be connected with other third parties in terms of transacting. So we had to move to this platform to enable that to happen. For example, if a bank wants to, previously, the banks used to enable you to open a bank account and register a company for you at the same time. So with this type of technology transformation, the banks will be able to do that. So in the background, we are able to process transactions without a customer having to log on here to register a company. So the essence of moving to this system is to enable a technology landscape which will enable us to move with the future and to be in a space where we are really able to interact with our customer systems. And on the technology that we are using, we found that we were not going to be able to do that. And it was limiting us in terms of the
Yeah.
vision for this company. So
Okay.
it was
Tebogo,
important for us. It
sorry.
was painful.
No, we understand that. It's just that I want to move on to more questions. Um, So the first question we have here now is on annual returns. Issues that the person has is one, client's company doesn't appear when you put it in the registration number. And secondly, by asking financial statements, you can't click on FAS. Only an AFS tab is open and small clients can't afford XBRL. If you can help us with those two.
Okay. I guess the important thing there is it's about the business rules. Um, so let me see if so to get to annual returns, you'll be able to go into maintenance. Uh, on the left, you'll see annual returns. If you go into that, let me see if I can do a new filing. 2021. Okay, let me go into this. If I click there on annual return, the first thing is to calculate your PI score. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, calculate. All right. So these are business rules that have been uh, developed in order to make a decision on whether you are able to do an AFS or a FAS. So does your memorandum of incorporation prescribe auditing of financial statements? Okay. If you did yes here, you need to submit your financial statements. So that is the reason why you are getting that. But if you click no to everything here, that your MOI does not allow us for this, you'll be able to submit your FAS. Okay. But if let's say yes here, continue, you will not be able to submit your this because your MOI. So these are all legal issues. Uh, these business rules are enabling you to. So we are making it easier for you for the system to be able to redirect you where you are able to transact complying with the Companies Act. So you have selected this yes. Now you cannot file an FAS. The law requires you to submit a AFS. So all you need to do, if your company is not prescribed to do this, you will click on no, and then you will be able to submit an FAS. That's the answer to that one.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question says, cannot even, oh, sorry, cut out. SMS to all directors is not practical. Can you explain to us how the SMS system works, Tebogo?
Okay, that is also a business process from the CIPC. It's a matter of the law. So the things that we are doing in terms of processing transaction, we must always keep in mind that it is in compliance with the law. So we are not doing things that are not in compliance with the law. So if you want to go through the automatic approval process, which will enable you to have your director amendment or member amendment, if you want that to be done within the next 30 minutes, it makes sense to send directors and members OTPs. Else, we can easily also submit those transactions to the back office for processing, and there's the relevant SLA to that. So the reason we are doing this is to also enable the CIPC to be able to respond with speed to customer applications. So the purpose of these OTPs is to enable automatic approval of a Core 39 or a CK2. So in terms of the rules, it says that in a company, for a director amendment to take place, the voting rights is 50 plus 1. So if 50 plus 1 in terms of directors that have voting rights, if that has been achieved, that means if it's a company, it has 10 directors. If 6 directors submit their OTPs, what that means is that the application will be processed automatically. You'll do your Core 39 immediately. Another rule is that we need confirmations. Okay, so the directors of whose changes are being effected, there's an appointment, there's a resignation, For example, there's a contact info change. Those directors which are impacted by the change, a director that is resigning, a director that is being appointed, they must provide a confirmation. Okay, so they are giving a confirmation that indeed I'm being appointed. If they don't give a confirmation, then that transaction will not be processed. It will be deleted from our system within 48 hours. If the director says, yes, I'm resigning, and we reach a 50 plus one in terms of voting rights, then that transaction will be processed. So this process is just to, excuse me, to create efficiencies. And I think in time, customers will also see the benefit of this because you are able to effect your changes immediately. There's a tender that I need to do next week. I'm able to get my update of uh, directors within 30 minutes, if you like. So if you are going to go through the back office, you are not going to make that tender, for example. So that is the reason why we did this. Um,
And
I don't know
Tebogo,
if that
can I
answers the question.
just, in line with that, ask, because I saw there were questions in this regard, what if I do if I don't receive the OTPs? And what do they do in the case where somebody is deceased? Because then they
Okay.
won't receive an OTP.
Yes, if somebody is deceased, essentially what that means is that you will need to, I mean, that's the purpose of the director amendment process. If somebody is deceased or a director is being removed from a company, that process will go through the back office. So there's a distinction between the two scenarios. So what will go through automatic processing, that is OTPs, it is only an appointment and a resignation. Those will go through OTPs. However, if you are doing a removal, a deceased, that will go through the back office processing. So those are the difference between those four types of changes.
Okay, Tebogo, what I want to ask, since annual returns are so important to customers, whether you can perhaps just quickly show us, or as quick as possible, how you file one.
Okay, so here I am. I've gone
And
into,
I just, whilst you're starting, I just want to make customers aware we do have step-by-step guides on the website. Um, so you could also use that to assist you when you do applications. Thanks, Tebogo.
okay, uh, here I am. I have created this. Then I'm going to submit my FAS. There we go. I'm a natural person, citizen, yes. You'll put in the ID number here. You'll search. It will give you the details. You'll continue. Financial records compilation, yes. Here, advice, no. I don't receive advice. Independent, no. You can answer yes if you want. Goods, yes. No. Assets, no. I can submit my FAS. Then you will get to these other portions. You can, while you are doing an annual return, there are also a number of changes that you can effect. The first one, you can either effect a director or member amendment. So for this particular application, I will say no, I don't want to effect any changes here. So you select no changes. Then you can do address changes. Do I want to change my address? No. You can do a financial year end. Do I want to effect it? I will say no, because I don't want to do it. Location of records, do I want to effect it? Maybe. Let's change the address. I can add that, select uh, written communications. I'm going to send it to this address. Okay, you can save that. You can submit it. Okay. And then you'll need to provide the statistical information. Is the company a holding? No. Is it in operations? No. Well, you can choose yes if you want. I'm in education. I'm in Gauteng. This will be picked up from your already captured information, so it will not allow you to type. So your PI score, this is the information you chose. So if you made a mistake on your PI score, then unfortunately you cannot change it. Your PI score has already been calculated. It's a legal requirement. You can click on continue. There, you'll get to your annual return. Did my business make money this year? No. So I'll put 0. I'll click calculate. There's 150. I'll file an annual return. You'll get to the cut. So you can see that it is 150 that I owe. If you made a billion, then maybe you'll pay 4,000, something like that. If you haven't paid for 5 years, maybe you'll pay 20,000, something like that. Then you'll click on checkout. You agree. You put in your card details. Okay, let me see if I have a card that I can use quickly, and then I will block it. So colleagues, let me see. If it doesn't work, colleagues, please, I'm gonna stop sharing if it doesn't work.
Tebogo, whilst you're busy with the payment, I just want to make customers aware of one or two things. If one do your annual return and it shows a penalty that is not due, our IT is working on resolving this issue. Please do not file the annual returns if the penalty reflects incorrectly, or submit a ticket for such, as this should be resolved within the next day or two. Then I also want to make customers aware there was a question, for instance, on what happened to the money in the customer codes. The money is still there if you've not requested a refund. You must request a refund for the money that's still in your code. Um, with the e-services or BizPortal, only card payments is available. And you must check on our website. There is information on exactly what you need to submit and where you need to submit the information to be able to get a refund. But if you don't find it, please send an email to education at cipc.co.za and we'll send you the information on refunds. Thank you. Sorry, Tebogo.
Okay. So please note, if you are filing transactions, okay, you don't need to pay one by one, one by one. If you are filing them on behalf of you are a third party. So let's say there's 20 company registrations that you are doing. You can do all of them and pay once. Okay. So there we go. I've put in my banking details. I can pay. Uh, so processing. Yeah. So this card didn't work. Let me use another card. Okay. Okay. It's working now. Okay. Approve. Okay. The payment was effected. Okay. So your annual return has now been completed. Then you wait for your document.
I just want to say Selu and Magda's also in the studio, so they're very welcome if they want to add something to what Tebogo is saying. You can please jump in and just talk. Don't wait for me to tell you that you must say something. Thanks, Magda and Selu.
Yeah, go ahead, colleagues. So essentially, that's how you pay for your annual return.
Tebogo, a question that a lot of them ask, customers ask is, how do they apologies. They want to know how do they transact company secretaries, and because they need a profile for each person, and they have hundreds of ARs to file. If you can just respond to that, thanks.
Okay, let me just do this. And let me just block that card again. Let me block the card. Just give me a second. Okay. So, all right. So if if you need to do an annual return for somebody else, your enterprise does not appear on the list. Your enterprise does not appear on the list. You'll be able to come down here and put in an enterprise. Okay. Let me try to find one.
What I can maybe say is if you are not a director, the companies
Yes.
will not be listed. It's only so only if you're a
Yes.
director of a company, the companies will be listed and you'll be
Yes.
able to edit it. If you're not a director of a company, you need to go to the enterprise number and type it in.
Yes. Just give me a second.
The same for third party director changes. If you are a third party and you want to do a director change, you just go to member changes of director changes and you type in the enterprise number and then you can continue.
Yeah. So there we go. So you will select that enterprise number. You will search for it. It will show you this is the company. You will click on continue. You'll do that and then you can continue. So it's exactly the same process that I showed you previously. Any further?
Okay, if you had a normal customer code and now you want to log in, you can still log in. You just
Yes.
need to use your ID number and the same password to log in.
Yes. So if you forgot your password, you can simply just put in your ID number there and then forgot password.
Okay, the customers also ask why is the enterprise number not the same? So there's two formats of the enterprise number. The one that you will usually see is like, say, for example, 2022 and then 6 digits and oh 07 at the end. So previously, if you had that, you can still use that format with slashes in between, or you can type K for a company if it's registered recently, K 2022 with the number without the oh 07. You can just demo, show that the different formats for the enterprise numbers. For authentication for passport, before you sign in, you first need to go to business registration and foreigner assurance. Then you will be able to upload your passport. It will go to the back office and it will be assured, and then you will be able to log in. So, first of all, click on business registration and then on foreigner assurance. To continue there. Okay, there's some that ask you must please show them director changes. And there's another question, Tebogo, where do approved names appear?
Okay. Just hold on. I wanna also show you that you can also search by this code if you want. Okay. There you go. It's the same thing. Happiness. Okay. Where do you say again?
Approved names. Where does an
Okay.
unapproved name appear?
Okay. So we must always remember that when you have a name, you want something you to do something with it. So uh, you want to register a company with that name, or you want to effect. Let's go back. So under name reservations, you can file for a proposed name, valid for £6. You can use that name to register a company. You can do a name reservation with association. Name reservation with association. Two differences between these two is that proposed names can go through an automatic approval process. Based on certain business rules, it can also go to the back office for processing. So the likelihood is that depending on your name, it can be received immediately. In other times, it will go to the back office, it will be processed, and then you can either get your rejection or your approval. Name reservations with association, for example, McDonald's Midrand. Okay. So you can lodge that. It will go to the back office all the time. There's no automatic approval process there. You can go to your name extensions. If you go to your name extensions, you will see your list of names here. Okay. I don't have any approved names, but if I pay for one now, it will be listed here. Okay. So I think I know what the real question is. The real question is that I have an approved name on the old system, but that name is not appearing here. Okay. I think that's what the real question is. So we are dealing with that issue to make sure that your names are going to appear here. The names that you have approved on the old system, and which are still valid, by the way, because you must remember is if your name has expired, there is no way that you can use that name. So you are only going to have names that have not expired. We are going to list them here. So we are working on that issue. There is teething issues here and there that for some profiles, that information will appear and for some it will not appear. I think that issue by this afternoon, it will be resolved. When you log in, you will be able to see those names listed here. So on another aspect, you would be able to what to do a name reservation extension. I mean, you would be able to do a name transfer. If you go in and you do a name transfer, you will see those names listed here. And these are names that are still not expired. If they're expired, you won't be able to use them there. The other aspect is you are able to download your 9.4. Okay, so you can come in here, confirmations. You'll see your list of names here. You can download your 9.4. Okay. Other places where the names will be displayed is on company registration. You want to do a new company registration, you can go to use an approved name, because if you come in here, you are going to first apply for a name. If you come in here, you are going to not be required to select a name. So if you go in there, you will see a list of your names there. So the real question is that I have a name that has not expired on the old system. Why can't I see it? Colleagues, we are addressing that issue. Okay. Any other question?
But they say they're not receiving confirmation of their names.
Okay. So confirmation of names, there is two things to it. Okay. If your name was going to go through an automatic approval process and you did not receive it, that means that there must be a system issue. So I would need an example, because I won't know whether that name went to the back office or whether it went through an automatic approval process. So we'll need to determine where that name went. If it went to the back office, all it simply means is that the back office has not approved that name or rejected it yet.
Okay, Tebogo, if you can perhaps also show us or talk about directed changes amongst others. For instance, there's a question, where do we upload documents now for directed changes or new company registrations? Please, if you can help us there.
Okay, so director amendments, you go through this maintenance. You'll see directors or members, you'll log in there, you'll agree to the conditions. So you have no history of any applications that you have lost. Okay, you can continue. This is the company that is linked to this profile. I don't want to do anything with that company yet. So I guess the best way for me to do this is to do something like this. Just give me a second. Okay, let me see if this will work. Just give me a second. Okay, search. All right.
Tebogo, when you do it, you can
Yes.
also just inform.
Sorry, I've missed that.
Sorry.
Please say that again. I missed that.
If a third party wants to lodge a directed change, can they do it? Is there anything that they should do specifically to be able to do a directed change for a company?
So at this moment, I'm a third party. I punched in this number. We can see that that number does not appear on my list. So yes, you just punch in that long or short code that will appear here. So we can see that is this. You search for it, it doesn't appear up there. So you search for it, it will appear down here. You'll be able to find. Okay, so I'm not a director. Utilizing this ID number, this ID number, I'm not a director in this company. So you can then click on file. This might bomb out. Excuse me if it bombs out. I'll tell you why it will bomb out. Yeah, I got a pending application. So if you have an application that is in process, lodged by somebody else, you are not allowed to submit that application until you have that application processed to either be rejected or to be approved. So this is what I'm going to do now. Let me see. Just give me a second. I don't want to effect any change. Just give me a second. I'm going to use something. Just give me a second. Okay. I'm just going to quickly approve one that I did. Just give me a second so that I can have one that is available.
If I may chime in, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, while we wait for you, the question on validation error when submitting annual returns. If you don't put the correct enterprise number or format, it will not.
Selu, I think your mic is on.
Yeah, I wanted to answer something.
Yeah, go ahead, Selu.
Yes, I just wanted, while we're waiting for you, there's a question on validation error.
Yes,
right?
please,
When
you
when
can
trying
talk
to
to
submit,
it.
Yes, thank you. When you're trying to submit annual returns, please make sure what we picked up is customers are getting these errors when they not putting the correct enterprise number or registration number. So please make sure that you put the correct enterprise number and the correct format. If you are using the K format, use the K format. If you are using the slashes format, use the correct format. So you will not get the validation error.
So I think Silver, that has been fixed. We don't have an issue with that now.
Yeah, no, I was just answering that question. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Excuse me, colleagues. I'm just approving one quickly. It will just take me a few more seconds.
Whilst you're busy there, can we continue with the next question? The person says was initially registered without an ID number and we are unable to log in now. What must we do? We had a normal username and password.
So that person must, if they registered without an ID number, it means they need to register as a customer. So if we don't know your ID number on the old system, you must register. You must do a new registration. You can't log in. You must register. Okay, I got one now I can use. Let me check the email. Okay. There we go. You can still see my screen?
Yes, okay.
Okay. All right. All right, there we go. I'm not a director in this company. I'm going to click File, Continue. Ah, it hasn't approved yet. Okay. If I can ask for assistance, but I'm not gonna finalize this transaction, colleagues. But I think it will also be difficult because I don't have enterprises. So the best way for me to do this, let me
I think if you can
see.
just talk us through it, Tebogo. And whilst you're there, I just want to make customers aware, we will put up a quick reference in regarding filing of annual returns today on our website. So people want more information, they can have a look at that later today. Tebogo, you can continue.
Okay. So you're going to come into, but it's gonna be difficult for me to show you like this. I'm trying to think of an option. Just give me a second. You can continue with questions while I think of a solution.
Yeah, there's a question, what is the best recommended card to use for payments?
If I can answer that one, you
Yes,
can use
please.
any card, as long as it's online and able for online purchases. So, and it has a CVV number that you can use to authorize payment. So any card will work as long as it allows online payments.
Okay. Next question, please. How do we do BE certificates? I do not see that option on the new site.
You can go on to BizPortal. That's where you can do it.
Then a question, I don't get an outcome message. It just go back to the login page.
The issue has been fixed. If the customer is still experiencing the same issue, please let us know so that we can resolve it. But the issue has been fixed. The looping is not there. Looping problem is not there anymore.
Okay. Another question, is the problem with card payments on checkout? Keep giving validation error. I tried to pay an annual return?
You see, Tebo has demonstrated an annual returns and he managed to pay. So if you are experiencing the same problem, please try to change the browser. Also try to clear your cache on your browser. It might be that it caches some of the data, but annual returns, you can make payments on using your card payment.
Okay, and are you waiving penalties for now as a result of not being able to file timeously as a result of a website problems?
I think, Elma, that will be a business decision, but I'll assume that that will be the approach that CIPC will take if the course was on CIPC side. So, but that will be communicated by business.
Okay, I'm ready. Can you see my screen again?
Okay, continue.
Okay.
Uh,
So
we don't,
I don't.
we can't see your screen at this point.
Okay, maybe it's still loading. Tell
It's
me when
still
you can
loading.
see it.
I can see it.
Okay. I will not go up there because this is my personal account. Okay. So I've searched for the company there, up there. Okay. And then you can click on file. Okay. Okay. Continue. All right. So these are the two directors in this company. So for this moment, I'm going to effect a resignation as an example of OTPs. Okay. So when you come onto this, these crosses must turn into greens to say that I have gone through all the directors. I have marked them for this one is not changing, this one is changing, etc. So I'm going to go on to this director here, and I'm going to, you'll be presented. So when you click on the cross, you'll be presented with the director's information. You will then select what you want to do. You want to do a no change, a status change, or a contact info change. I think the biggest thing that we have done is that you will not be able to effect a change in terms of contact information if you are not this director. So if I'm not this person, I will not be able to effect the change. So in order for me to effect this change for this director, I'm now living in Australia. I will have to create a profile, a CIPC customer profile. Only then can I come in here and effect a change. So what this does is it takes all your information from your customer profile. So this section here, your date of birth, demographics, etc., address, will be taken from your customer profile. So to effect this change, I'm now living in Australia. You need to create the customer profile, and then you log in. You click on update contact details. You come in here, you update your contact details. I'm now a doctor. I'm no longer a Mr. or Mrs. This is my new address. You do your OTPs, you save your customer profile. Once you do that, you can come in, lodge the application. When you click on contact info change, if you click that up here, it will take the information from your customer profile. So for me, it will not pick up this information because I'm not this director. It will not pick up the information. So as we can see, the address is SD whatever. Okay. So for this director, I'm going to just effect the status change. I'm going to resign him. Okay. Resignation date. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to click on save. All right. So we'll see now you are doing an amendment, you are doing a resignation. Okay. The next one, that's me. I'm the director. Okay. Let me see. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. This is not gonna work. But as an example, I will effect it anyway. So my information is up to date. It's in sync with my customer profile. But let me see. click on contact info change. It will take the information from the customer profile, and then you can continue. Save. So by okay, what did I miss? Okay, CEO. Save. Okay, we'll see now everything is now green. Okay, and down here you are doing a contact info change. Okay, so you'll continue with this application. Maybe I want to appoint a new director. Who can I appoint? Let me check something. Just give me a second. I'm checking something. Okay. Mhm. Okay. All right. I'm going to effect this one. Okay. I'm going to appoint this person. Just hold on. Okay. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. Verify. All right. Let's check again. Check again. Oh, okay. I used the wrong one. Okay. No, it's the right one. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So, colleagues, to add a passport holder, that passport holder must be verified through the foreigner assurance process. So, why it was disagreeing with me is because the details do not match what has been approved on the foreigner assurance process. Okay. So, I'm appointing this person, CFO. Yes. Okay. 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 I'm appointing this person. There we go. Then you can click on save. Okay. So you are doing an appointment. You can continue. All right. So in order to attach documents, okay, if you are doing this application as a third party, it is going to go to the back office. So you need to attach the documents. And I'm sure colleagues, you know which documents you need to provide. I'm just going to provide. So you choose incorrect information. The back office is going to reject that application and tell you that please provide this and this and that. Okay. Any questions on this part?
No, I don't have any questions. Bear, if we can get back to the questions on the screen, please. It
Okay.
says, please explain why foreigner validations always fail.
Yeah. So if you are a passport holder, you need to go through foreigner verification before you can be appointed.
Okay, where do they do that?
So it will be under business registration from business registration, you'll see a link there that says foreigner assurance or foreigner verification. I'm not sure between, it has something to do with foreigner on the label. You'll click on that, you will put in your passport, date of birth, when is it expiring, uh, uh, your name, surname, etc. You'll you'll do your OTPs. You'll attach the passport. You will submit the application. The back office will receive those documents. They will confirm that indeed your passport matches your information. They will approve it. If they approve it, you are good to go. They reject it, you cannot be added as a director in any company.
Okay. And next question. I reserved the name this Wednesday and it was approved. Now I want to register. Now the name that was approved is not appearing on the approved name.
Okay, so we'll need to look at that. If we can get the ticket number, we'll be able to investigate.
Okay, so it means the customer must log a query on the website for
Yeah,
ICT and they will look into it.
yeah.
Next
So if
question,
they
please.
say it was approved, they must please just give us a reference number. We'll be able to check and see what's going on.
Okay. I think I'm just going to take one more question because we're already over our time. If Ridzani and them can just give us one more question, please. Where can you see why a company is not compliant?
You'll do a disclosure. So under business disclosure, you'll see disclosures there, 30 rands. Otherwise, you can do a free disclosure. So those are the two options.
Okay, thank you very much. Perhaps there is still time if we take a minute or two longer. Ridzani, one more question, please. Okay, add-on services are not as important as company registration and maintenance. That's only a comment. Can I have another question? I had to change my password. Where do I do that?
So on the login screen, you put in your ID number, and then there will be password reset just below that.
Okay, so I can just do that. One more question, Ridzani. Registrations I did in December and I've not received any feedback. What should they do?
Okay, that is quite vague because the new system only started this year. So those are legacy. They should go through the normal help desk process.
Okay. Okay, with that, I think I'm going to close our session. Thank you very much for joining
Oh,
us.
sorry. I just wanted to show them the OTPs and everything else. If they
Sure.
have a few seconds, okay? Okay, you can still see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to click on continue here. All right, then I'm going to confirm. So at this point, here we go. There's two active directors, one appointment, one contact change, one resigned. There's your reference number, 48 hours to process them, and it's 50 plus one for consent for OTPs, okay, for voting, and then it is 100% for confirmations. So what confirmation means is that if a status change is happening for me, I need to confirm it. If I'm resigning, I need to confirm it. If I'm being appointed, and I need to confirm it. Voting is existing director 50 plus one. So it means that we need to have both these conditions met before the processing through the automatic process can take place. So if you don't achieve voting of 50 plus 1, the change will not happen. If you don't receive confirmations of 100%, the change will not be affected. So this application will be deleted after 48 hours. You must lodge a new one. So if you have 10 directors, please, you must chat with them. Guys, I've processed. Please process the OTPs. And this is what that will look like. Just give me a second. I'm going to share again. Let me know when you can see my screen again.
Okay.
Okay, this one I can share the entire screen. Okay. You can see my screen still?
Not yet. For anybody who want to re-look at the webinar, it will remain on Facebook and YouTube. And now I can see many
Okay.
screens. There, I
Yeah,
can see it
good.
now. Thanks.
All right. So all directors will receive this email, okay? All of them. So we'll go there. This will be the latest one. So the director will receive OTP, okay? There we go. I can't see it now. Let me see. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Anyway, my screen is a bit messed up, but they will receive the OTP email. They will receive the email OTP. Then the director, the filer, will click on this. All of them. It will go there. Okay. So if I'm this person here, I will click on this. I will put in my details there. Uh, Let me process it quickly. I will stop sharing so that we can see what will happen. Tell me if you can see again.
Not yet.
Can you see now?
No. It's starting to open. I think yes. Now we can see.
Okay. I'm going to process the OTPs now. So there's two ways in which you can process OTPs. Okay. The first way is that the person that has this window open, they can call this guy, call Lunga, call him, call him, call him. Okay. This is the filer, so it's who you are. So you can call all of these people right now to give you the OTPs. Or he will log in, he will do his own OTP, and that's it. He will log in from the email. They'll click on the link, they'll do their own OTP, and that's it. So now let's pretend that I'm this person and okay, I'm the filer. Okay, I'm the filer. Let's pretend. And then I'm going to call all of these people. Okay, I'm calling them now. Langa, please give me your OTP. So I'm going to go there. Okay, this information will show. Langa will give me his ID number or passport number, whatever the case. It's a passport. Langa will give me his OTP of SMS. We'll put it there. He'll give me his email. That's it. Verify. There we go. So what is important, colleagues, to notice is this application required 3 confirmations. Okay. It also required 1 voting. All right. So the 3 confirmations are because you are appointing him. He must confirm that he's being appointed. This one is doing a contact change. He must confirm that he's doing a contact info change. He is resigning. He must confirm that he is resigning. Okay. In terms of voting, he is still this one. He is still a director. So in terms of voting, if he does the voting, then that's it. Okay, so you'll see now when I do the voting, it will say 1 plus 1 is been achieved. Okay, there we go. You are on this one, you call him, you are the filer, you call this person, hey, Mr. Masakale, please give me your ID number. He'll give it to you. Mr.
Tebogo,
Masakale? Yes.
sorry, I think we haven't got the time to go through all the verifications
Okay,
because
it's
we must
almost
read.
done. Almost.
Yeah,
Just 10 more seconds because I think it's quite important. Okay, there we go. Okay, okay, next one. Okay, we have met the voting. Now we are going to meet the confirmation. Okay. Because customers can complain to say nothing is happening, but they have not met the criteria. We have now met everything. Once you meet it, that's it. Your application has been processed. You'll now receive your certificate. Thank you. Thank you for the patience.
thank you very much, Tebogo. With that, I'm bringing a close to this session. Um, we will be having another session at 11:30, where we will continue to answer questions. So if your question have not been answered and you are able to join, please do so. Thank you for your time and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.